Everybody, it's your man Jigsaw here at One World Studios with legendary Twista. What's going on?
Man, I'm chilling. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you, man. We're here in New York City where it's very hot. You came up in here with a whole sweatsuit on. I was like, yo, I know he's burning up right now.
Oh, nah, it was, it was hot up in here,
Right.
A little chill outside, a breeze here and there.
Right. Got you. Now, first of all, it's been a minute since we heard like a real project from you. But you got this mixtape coming out. Tell people about it.
This project is called Summer 96. And the reason I called it Summer 96 is because I want to give those who are new to Twista accoladed to what I do, my style and flow, and how I put music down, and just bring other people who are original fans back into that whole vibe and wave of how I was doing it, then. And gearing people up for the next project too.
Now we know the summers in Chicago could be real hot.
Oh yeah.
What was summer '96 about?
Man, it was crazy, man. It was like it was killings going on. There was a lot of historical things going on.
Right.
But just like the music vibe itself, that was the introduction into, or should I say my introduction into the game. If you listen to Adrenaline Rush, you can see on songs like Feel So Good and Overdose how we was doing in the city. And all I was doing was just rapping about the element, man. It's a lot of what's going on now, but it was a little crazy back then.
It was crazier?
It was organized crazy.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like now they're a little wild with it, but back then it used to go down.
Yeah, okay. Now I remember a situation, this kid, Yummy Sanderford, do you remember that?
Yummy Sanderford.
The kid, he was like 12. He did something. He was basically in like a gang or whatever, but he was mad young. He was super young, and then they ended up killing him. I don't know. It made the cover of Time magazine. That's why I remember. Yeah, Chicago.
It's a lot of them. And my apologies for even not knowing right offhand what you're talking about. But it's been so many that sometimes it gets hard to keep up with, and you just want to do something about it in general as a whole.
Right, absolutely. Now I've seen you. I mean, we've bumped into each other. Everything from, Farrakhan type situations to the BET Hip Hop Awards and so on and so forth. Yeah. So you're definitely out here.
Yeah. Long time.
Yeah, definitely. But to me, I just hold you in such high regard as a lyricist. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
What are your thoughts on things now as far as the state of lyricism? Because, I'm not even gonna offer my opinion. What do you think?
It's a lot of them. Like, to me, it's hard to give an opinion about what it is as a whole because technology is in a way, technology has it where everybody can get themselves out there. So it depends on how you look at it. If you look at it from the perspective of who's hot or who's on the radio right now, that's one thing. But if you look at it from a different perspective, you might say who's streaming, or who's holding it down in the streets. So there's so many different perspectives to come from to say whether artists are still coming with lyrics or not coming with lyrics. I think whatever your opinion is still exists. But I think if your opinion is that something isn't, then that's when I think you're wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's all out there.
There's a lot of cats out here, man, doing their thing.
What do you think about the MCs in Chicago?
They dope, man. Like, it's been a long time coming. Like, for me, being one of the pioneers, I can remember when artists in Chicago were still trying to get their sound together, their vibe together, and the music wasn't so hot. And I can remember, like, those stages, like, feeling like I wanted the artists in Chicago to, like, really come with it so that we could compete with everybody elsewhere. And there was some that was coming with it, but just as a whole. So now when I listen to the way artists put it down now, and I can listen to it and hear something and be like, whoa, I got to keep up. It make me real proud of what the city is, man. There's a lot of dope MCs and just artists in the city in general.
Yeah, absolutely. I was listening to G Herbo the other day, and me and my little cousin, we go back and forth. He used to be really into Chief Keef. He's really deep into the Chicago scene. So he keeps me on my P's and Q's. But he was like, a meme he said was, he said all this started with G Herbo. And I jumped up. I was like, yo, you bugging. Like, what are you talking about? But he meant the new generation. He didn't mean any offense. He knew about you, Common. He obviously knew because he's a hip-hop head. Yeah. But he was saying the new era. A lot of people would say Chief Keef, whatever, but he was like G Herbo, bringing a little more substance, lyricism, and things of that nature.
You got your opinion. You know, I definitely, like, for me, I think Chief Keef ushered in a new era. Yeah. That, he changed the wave and style of a lot of artists, like from his point moving forward. So I think his influence spread a lot through a lot of the artists you named, even G Herbo, but definitely G Herbo was killing it in his own right.
Yeah, definitely. Now let's talk a little bit about some things, from like a historical perspective. And I was doing my research, and I remember we were just talking about Dame Dash, and I remember Dame gave you the rock chain, and I looked at the article, and that was an all hip hop event that happened there. I didn't even realize that.
Wow.
It was at SOB's.
Wow. Yeah.
That's why we were on it so quick, and it still comes up in Google like to this day. So I was like, oh snap. But I always wondered like what happened with that situation, because it was so epic for one. Two, we were like, this is perfect, because that was a little after some of the successes that you had, like some of the big moments, you know what I mean? But it was still in the same wave.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was just due to contractual issues and me already being tied into my situation at Atlantic at the time. Whereas you had, like, Kanye was a new artist and hadn't been tied into the situation, so he was able to take full advantage of the situation, but I couldn't take full advantage of the ideas that we had because of my contract situation. But, we took it as far as we could take it. Yeah, but definitely it was about to go down.
Yeah, because I remember, because it was so crazy, because Dame was calling out Craig Coleman, I think. The president, whoever.
You had
he was there.
You had some words going back and forth because we was really trying to make it happen. So, it was something we was passionate about. So everybody was starting to get a little heated.
Yeah.
But we gotta move forward.
Yeah, of course.
We gotta move forward.
Now, do you still have that chain?
Of course, I still got it.
I don't know how these things work. I thought maybe it didn't work out. He said, let me get that back.
If it was a reason or some form or reason that I had to hand it back, I guess, it didn't make sense we could come up with something, but I don't even think it's that vibe. I think, everything that played out in that time was history.
Yeah,
it is what it is, and that's something that I can bust out every once in a while. Like, bam, you see what it was? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, but I thought it was, even though it didn't happen, it was like a huge salute. You know what I mean? Because that's a New York-based brand. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they were really paying homage to you and respect and showing you that.
Yeah, it was definitely a good look. Yeah. A good look, and just, for myself, something that made me feel a sense of recognition.
Now, I've mentioned this before, but Adrenaline Rush is probably my favorite album for you. I know you sold more on other projects, but that one is that's I know we don't really do triplets of albums, because I know you did a 07 version of Adrenaline Rush, but you think you ever go back to that, or is this mixtapes in the lineup of that?
It's kind of in the vibe, like even just the title of it being called Summer '96 lets you know that I'm in that vibe. So it's definitely me revisiting what I do, and then me knowing myself as an artist. I think a lot of artists pay a lot of attention to what's going on with something to catch their eye and take their attention too far from what is true for themselves, and they start trying to do everything everybody else is doing. But I think I kind of know my style a little bit and what people want to hear from me. So I just keep giving it to them.
So do you ever think about, I know you mix your flows up, but you're most famous for rapping fast. Do you ever feel compelled to keep it simple for people that may not have that ear?
Yeah, definitely. Every once in a while I do it. Even on this project, like I didn't go full Adrenaline Rush style. I mixed it up a little bit and gave you a few different flavors. Like one joint on that called How I Look. That's gonna come out. I got the video coming out soon. Everybody gonna check it out. And I'm like not rapping at that pace. It's just me kind of chill in my vibe, showing you how I be chilling.
Any guest appearances?
Yeah, we got a few guest appearances on that. one of the guys I want people to pay attention to is Vic Spencer. That's a guy from Chicago who I think is a sound that really needs to be heard. He put it down in the city. My guy Clark Airlines, he get out. It's another guy that's gonna be seen in a video coming up soon with me, him, and Burner.
Okay.
Talking about our blazing.
Okay.
And, like mostly Chicago cats, man. Who else I got on there? Who else on there? Definitely Do or Die.
Okay.
I'll save that for last. Like,
yeah.
When you listen to the project, it's definitely gonna feel like something that we gave a collaborated effort to. I got Do or Die on there. It's
classic.
Like 2-3 songs, that just really give that impact of that Chicago feel.
Right.
I'm looking forward to people hearing that. My guy B-Stop, guy that sings from Chicago, killing them, everybody's stuff on him.
What would you say you've learned through the years? The industry, it goes up and down. You were kind of in the getting money era. You were in, I don't know what era to call it, but it's when cats was really getting money. You know what I mean? Now they still getting money. They still getting money. It's just different. What would you say you've learned through the years, if anything? About the game. I mean, we know industry rule 4080. We know, things like. Would you have done your business different, or would you have?
It's definitely a business. I think any artist at my stage can look back and pinpoint turns they would have made the other way or this way, or contracts they would have did different, or certain business models or ways they would have did different. So I think with me, it's just a lot of the business. And if I could go back, and like I said, a lot of artists, we would probably humble ourselves in the moment and not only know that we are artists, but don't feel like we so big that, hey, it's me now, I'm here, I ain't got to do shit else, I'm about to shine. So I think once you get to that level, you got to realize it's a business and that you got to keep working and keep yourself humble enough and not so in the clouds enough that you can't hold your business together.
True. Oh, I know that from all hip hop's point of view. We seen, you know what I mean? When you was getting money, you didn't care, you was spending it. Just everything, and then you're like, oh shoot, this does not last forever.
Yeah. A lot of artists learn it fast before you get to that level, and a lot of artists learn the hard way.
Right. But the beautiful thing is that you're obviously still here. I have no question. I can't wait to hear this project. I was hoping to hear it before we interviewed, but I know that you're in tip-top shape, artistically speaking. Let me ask you about a rumor, because I'm a hip hop head, right? I'm originally from Delaware, so I used to just take in everything. So back in the day, I heard you and Tretch had like a situation. Is that true?
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it was a lot of drama. That really was something that kicked off. It was Tretch that had said something about me in the song.
Okay.
One of his, not the first album, maybe the second album, he said something about, you go back and listen to it. What did he say? Something about tongue twist your ass back to Chicago. Or something.
Oh, I do remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Shut up. Yeah, so, but I think really him just mentioning Chicago got a lot of other artists heated, and it turned into something a little bigger than just a Twista thing.
Right.
But one of our good mutual friends from Chicago by the name George, who had a place called George's Music Room in Chicago.
Of course.
You remember George?
Of course, I've met him.
Yeah, George was the one that got all of us together in one room and sat down so that we could move forward and realize, hey, this is music, we're young, we got to keep moving forward. Don't let it turn into something else big. So he was the one that got us together. And then the crazy part about that story, after that, we did a photo shoot with a bunch of rappers, and I think we was in the middle of Harlem.
Oh yeah, the Great Day in Harlem.
Yeah,
for him.
It was so damn funny, man. Tretch right there walking up, he said, yeah, y'all in my neighborhood now. We was laughing about that shit. Yeah. So, you gotta learn. They go for something, you gotta learn. Everybody was acting hard. Yeah. What if we didn't handle that situation and then we was out there that day?
That's crazy. That's dope. We love to hear the stories, man. The backstories.
Yeah. There's plenty of them. Everybody got plenty of them.
That's before like the internet, before you would hear a little nugget and then you know, we would run wild, but it was all talk. We would talk amongst ourselves, like,
yeah, he say, she say, word of mouth. You have to hear from the next person.
Right. So right now in the present day, you know, we dealing with social media, we dealing with internet, we dealing with phones and transmission. Do you have a special way about that you want to go about promoting this or getting it out there? Is it going to be just streaming, or is it, you know, is it going to be a physical copy, or like what's going to be like your plan?
We probably have a few physical copies because I'm old school, but as far as promoting, just the way I've always did it, you know, and staying in my lane, you know, like starting getting out here, you know, definitely getting out here and letting everybody know it from this angle, but just from other things that I do, you know, letting them know, like everybody should be into merchandising and trying to sell a product.
Right.
So whatever project you're trying to release, at the same time you're trying to sell products and do other things too. So you know, you got other businesses cracking. So like with this project, the next projects, I'm gonna be promoting my things that I'm trying to you know sell. You know what I'm saying? Got a big ass hemp farm in Chicago. I'm gonna tell y'all about it soon coming up.
Okay.
But yeah, we
tell us about it, man.
You know, I mean, just things we got rolling in other facets of business. You know, and that's one thing that when it gets to my projects, you know, starting at the top of next year, I'm gonna be more targeting an audience as well as my regular audience, but an audience to be able to push my merchandise on whatever level. You know, and I advise any artist to do.
It's really, how hard is it to get into that industry, hemp and things? Like, I've had Burner up here, a few other people, and they've always told me it's really difficult.
It's difficult. I think right now it's a good time because they're starting to legalize it in a lot of places. So I think it was more difficult then, but I still think it's difficult because it's a tedious process, and you got to have people who are really involved in the details of that when it comes to making it happen. As far as everything from growing to the legal aspects of it to the upkeep. So you got to be really on business. If you can run one of those type of businesses or establishments, you should be able to do anything.
Right. One thing about innovators is that for the most part they begin something and then everybody follows. One thing I always wanted to know from you was, who inspired you to start rapping the way you did? Because we had heard faster rap before, you know, there were people that did it, but you did it in a completely different way and faster at that. You know what I'm saying? At the same time,
I think I wanted to be different after a while. Like some people are cool staying the same or being the top and what they are hearing from everybody else, but like I was rapping and like everybody else who called themselves a true MC, I was battling, eating niggas up, killing niggas, you know what I'm saying? So I got tired of it after a while. I was like, man, I want to start making real songs, doing real styles and doing stuff different. So I can even almost remember the time when I was a kid and started to write the lyrics different than from the pattern I originally wrote it in. So I started switching up the patterns a lot, and then come with a little phrase like, making the words, more syllables to the cadence. And then one day I just decided I'm gonna write a whole song like this. And then that's when I wrote Mr. Tongue Twister. And then from that point, people started calling me Tongue Twister. And then I would just keep writing rhymes in that style.
Did Kanye ever drive you crazy? Did he ever get on your nerves?
I wouldn't say that. I would say I always knew he was different. And I always knew he was driven. And I didn't understand the method to the madness or the genius to it until you would see him say some shit that sound crazy to you, and then watch it come true. And after a while, you stop asking. Like after a while, he can just say the craziest shit in the world. Yeah, I'm gonna take this Madonna sample and put it with this, and this is gonna happen. And you won't doubt him. So that was the one thing that was crazy. It's actually seeing him tell people, I'm gonna be the top producer in the next 2 years, and it was way at a time where you couldn't even see no shit like that. He was just a young guy coming up, and then to actually see it happen in a time frame that he spoke it, that shit was crazy.
Okay, that's what's up.
He always was out there always was that vibe. Even when we was just on the scene coming out to the rap shows and everything, he was always out there ready to battle, show people his music, you know, he was just always on the same vibe.
That's dope. No, because Kanye, I say that because Kanye always gave me a hard time. Every time I met him, he gave me a hard time. So, man, it's never easy.
He wanted you to let him display him in his way,
right.
You know? So, yeah.
True indeed. Were you guys ever competitive? I mean, you, Common, Kanye, y'all. I mean, there was others like Crucial Conflict and stuff. I mean, were you guys competitive or were you
probably
more collaborative?
Probably in a friendly way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was more collaborative with, you know, like Kanye and some of the people from the West Side, like Do or Die.
Mm-hmm.
Even Crucial Conflict, but we always stay so busy that we never got it in together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even to this day, we always see each other at 1,000 shows and say, we're going to get in the studio, Yeah. Like, that's something that's, you know, it's going to happen for sure. But yeah, we always, I think everybody had their own style and was probably in a friendly way competitive with each other. But the cool thing about being from Chicago or the Midwest is having that melting pot vibe. Where when you go to one whole coast, a lot of times you can hear the whole vibe in that coast. Whereas in Chicago, on one block you'll have a person that sounds like they from here, other end of the block a person that sounds like they from down south, and somewhere else somebody sounds like they straight from Chicago.
Right.
It's always different.
I noticed that from just like Crucial Conflict. Cause I was just like, what is this? You know, it didn't match up to me. And then Common, had a little bit of an East Coast vibe to me, at least. That's how I felt.
Yeah, we all had to, because we was in the middle, so we all had to have influence from somewhere.
Right.
You know.
Do you still have your label? Is your label still popping or
GMG? Yeah. Like my stuff comes out on GMG.
Yeah.
And like when the vibe is right, if it's a certain project, whether it's me or with a certain artist, we'll release it. You know, on a label. Yeah, that's what it is. GMG, Get Money Gang.
Are you grooming any other artists? Are you mentoring or kind of bringing anybody along?
It's artists that I'm affiliated with that I'm always around because I'm trying to keep, like older artists should do, is understand that it's a youthful sport. You should always try to vibe and catch energy from the youthful cats to help yourself stay relevant. You know, so I'm always doing that. Even now, I got my guy Sonny Woods with me.
Okay.
You know, it's a guy that's in Chicago doing his thing on the DJ side, production side, engineering, promoting his projects and everything. So a lot of times he might follow my lead and look at how I do things. Vice versa, I might follow his lead and look at how he do things. You know, from the younger generation. So.
Yeah. So what has Sonny taught you? Cause I keep my my cousin in like in my hip pocket, like was like, cause anytime I need to know something, I ask him. I'm like, what about this dude? Or he'll tell me about.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much the same type of vibe with me and Sonny. Like he keeps me in tune with who is hot or who is upcoming. Like even a few of the guys that's on this project that I got coming out now, I met through Sonny.
Okay.
You know, when it comes to Big Spencer and Car Airlines. So definitely keeping me relevant and in tune and just a good vibe of music. You know?
Yeah. Do you have any like advice or wisdom you would give a younger artist? Like, you know, I talk to the youth a lot to keep them from making the same mistakes or to avoid certain pitfalls.
Yeah. You know, I would say like once you get on, don't let it go to your head so fast. Like as a young artist, once you get on, you're so happy and so egotistical that as long as you got the blunts and your homeboys around and you're able to point your finger to anything you want and get it, you don't want to hear nothing nobody got to say. Yeah. And you won't listen until you point the finger and can't get it. Right. You know what I mean? And then that's when all of a sudden, what were you saying about that contract now? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think I would tell every artist, it's more elements to saying, I got signed, or I got this, or I got this check. You got to understand it's a business from that point moving forward. It's not a one-time, I would say, it's not a one-time thing. It's something that you do consistently, which is hard work and paying attention to the business and keeping yourself knowledgeable about what type of contracts you want.
Yeah. How hard or easy is it to get some of the guys you've worked with?
Wake your ass up.
How hard or easy is it to reach out? Let's just say hypothetically you wanted to get I don't know, anybody, Kanye, whoever. Like, is it hard? I mean, you work with so many people. I mean, I even think of the joint you did with Diddy on the Dirty Money album. I mean, you and Shauna it was like flawless.
That's one of my favorite joints.
Yeah.
Shout out. Yeah. It's not hard. Like with me, I wouldn't reach out. I don't think I would reach out to anybody that I don't think I could get, because I would want to get fronted on. And I don't reach out to people a lot, but I think when I do, it really wouldn't be a problem. Like the vibe I get from my mutual artists, people in the industry, I don't get that type of vibe that somebody wouldn't want to fuck with. And I think that's one of the accolades you get from being a lyricist or an MC. Or you got artists that make different music in different ways. And when you are hot or noticed for lyricism, that tends to carry on in the future when you get to my level. Like, people remember that shit, right? Respect you a certain way. You know what I'm saying? You look up and you see Rakim and shit, you be like, oh, right. Because he sat there and he put that brain time in those rhymes. That hard work pays off in the future.
So on that note, I gotta ask you, who are your top 5 lyricists?
I don't even know if I have a top 5 anymore. Like, back in the day, it might have been a top 5, but now it kind of fluctuates. But just you saying that, like, my shit is regular. Like, my shit is like Rakim.
Yeah.
And if you ask me the reasons too, I'll tell you.
Give me the reasons. Yeah, the reasons. I want to hear the
Rakim,
reasons.
Cool G Rap.
Okay.
LL is in that motherfucker.
Okay. Okay.
Tupac maybe. Biggie and Jay. He talks a lot.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
No Big Daddy Kane though.
Yeah, Big Daddy Kane is in there. You said top 5.
I know,
too many. Yeah, way too many.
Once you said G Rap, I'm like, okay, I just expected.
Yeah. See, but when you say G Rap, G Rap, Big Daddy Kane, Rakim.
Yeah.
You kind of got to be a fan of all 3 of them.
Right. Yeah.
You know
Of
what
course.
I'm saying?
Of course.
You know, niggas don't even know they were dissing each other back then.
Right. I know,
Niggas
man.
don't even know Rakim was dissing Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah.
What was it? Follow the leader.
Yeah, I know.
Niggas don't know that.
I know. I mean, look, man, we knew we were in the lunchroom like, yo, you heard that? And then he said something about rap soloists, you don't want none of this, things like that. That was Kane though. Kane the Rock. Allegedly.
Yeah, definitely. I still listen to all that stuff right now. And that's really where my whole vibe come from. Even though I rap different, you can kind of be like, oh, okay, he listen to Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, Cool G Rap, those type of artists. So I'm into lyrics. Yeah. DLC too.
Oh, the DOC, man.
DOC and Ice Cube in there.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Cube.
Yeah.
Yo, DOC, I've been trying to interview him for the longest time. I'm gonna eventually get him, but
you gotta get him. I know DOC got some stories.
Oh, but
that's one of my favorites.
he literally was like the GOAT that never fully matured. Like, he was the GOAT of that '89 era, because I just can't imagine anybody.
He never really got a chance to flourish in the way that you was about to see him flourish.
Yeah, exactly.
But once that situation happened, he was so talented that he was able to make it shine through other artists.
Yeah, he wrote for
especially
everybody.
Dr. Dre.
Yeah, absolutely. So shout out to him. We're gonna definitely get him.
baby.
Yeah. So album-wise, obviously I'm looking forward to this mixtape, but I don't know, for some reason my brain is still hardwired for albums. So do you expect to drop anytime? What's the timeline?
I don't really call it a mixtape. I think in this day and age, artists should get away from calling their things certain. You know what I'm saying?
It's just
Kanye
a project.
Said project, and he got everybody thinking album, but it's like what, seven songs? You know what I'm saying? So I think the word project is better, because I think people's imagination is so big with what type of work they want to put out, or what body of work. So I think for me, it's a project, and then an album that, if that's the album, you call it an album. So
right.
My album definitely is coming out like sometime at the top of next year, and this is gearing everybody up. But definitely from the intro, you can hear the vibe as far as where I'm taking it. And, man, just really getting that whole vibe back in them and letting them see. Right now, I'm just getting people reaccolated. Then I'm gonna bite some heads off. I still do this shit like the back of my hand.
You and Busta ever do a song?
Yeah, we got a few songs together.
Okay.
He got mad at me one time because he thought I released the song that we did called "Can You Keep Up," and we was about to put this whole thing behind it. He got real pissed off at me and my manager. He swear out we released that song, but Busta, I did not release "Can You Keep Up." I don't know how the fuck it came out.
Okay, all right, yeah. You don't want to be on Busta's bad side, not at all.
Nah, that's what I mean.
Okay, salute. All right, man. Anything else you want to tell the people where they can find you on social media, things of that nature?
At Twista GMG. That's where you can find out anything with your boy Twista. You know, at Twista GMG. You know, Project Summer '96. The album is untitled. I'm swooping through a bunch of titles. I gotta be careful before I call myself some crazy shit. And then, man, just be prepared to see me in all facets besides just this rap shit. Getting it cracking. Businessman on the day. OG time.
That's what's up.